We
And
are.
there we are. That's telling us we are live yet
Yeah.
again on all
We'll
the
see. We'll see who jumps on, won't we?
we'll see who jumps on all the internet channels. It's saying that we're live and on YouTube, on Facebook, on the other Facebook, all the live streams. And it's been a minute since we've been here, hasn't it, Dad?
Probably five.
Yeah,
5
probably
minutes.
5 minutes. That's right. That's right. And it's been a busy season. So just gonna take a second and share this video. Let people know that we're live. I can see
Oh yeah, that's right. We're
um,
supposed to share, huh?
you got to share. Yeah, that's right. You have to
That's
share.
right. So
And
now I got to get into. See, I've forgotten all about what we do here.
yeah, that's right. It's been a while. So everybody, welcome. If you're just tuning in, we are today talking about the relaunch of the Dream Show. So it's been just over. I think the last time we had a show was it over a month ago?
So it seems like it.
Yeah, it might have been. So it's been a while. Um, but we are. Let's see. Let's share there. And there we go. Wonderful. Okay. So yeah, we thought we had said that we were going to relaunch on Friday, December 16th, and so we thought great to see Zothili. It's been a while since we've seen Zothili, so um, it has been, and so we are live today talking about the relaunch and kind of just prepping people for what that's going to look like and why we've changed just a little bit, and what our focus is. Our focus is continuing to, as it always is continuing to help people engage the life of Christ in a transformative way. And in a broad. So we say with Wind, we are equipping people to experience God, with Wind Ministries, and so there's a broad way that happens, but and we look at dream interpretation as one of those ways. Good morning, Karen. It's good to see you. Karen is tuning in from the Western Canada. Um,
Ah,
so
so it's
yes,
good morning still. That's right.
it's still in the AM over there. So
Yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah. So anyway, so yeah. So as with everything that we do, it's always kind of geared towards that end, that we put content out there, resources out there, shows out there. We visit and talk with people and all that, all towards the end of helping people engage with the life of Christ, that their lives may take on His nature, that He might be reproduced individually, one person at a time. And so there's all kinds of ways we do that, and the Dream Show has been one of those ways. And so we've not been on in a while. We wanted to talk about why haven't we been on, and where are we going from here.
Well, you've
So
been traveling.
that's
So
one of the main reasons, is
yeah.
it becomes very difficult to maintain a consistent once a week show, um, when I'm traveling as much as I have been traveling, and as busy as the travel schedule then gets. I just find it next to impossible to find a consistent time to go live.
Yeah.
And the how we were doing it before worked really well when COVID was kind of determining our rhythms, the lockdowns or stay at home orders or whatever, right? Remember when that happened? Um,
Are
and
you
so that
saying
made it.
there was something positive about that? I mean, I'm still not finding it. I'm still trying to find the positive in the lockdowns of
Yeah,
COVID.
well, just keep hanging out with me, and I'll help you see the positive.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
May
It's like
take
the
a while.
time that I was taking Savannah to school one morning, and she was in probably first grade, so maybe she was 6 or so. Um, and as we're driving, she's musing in the back, and it's just her and I in the car, right? And she says, about halfway through the drive. It's only a 10-minute drive. About halfway through the drive, she muses out loud, and she says, "Dad, I know everything about Jesus." And I said, "Oh, that's really good, Savannah. Like, your dad, I'm thinking I'm trying to be the humble father, right? your dad's been studying Jesus for a long time, and even he doesn't know everything about Jesus. And Savannah says, "Oh, Dad, that's okay. I'll help you." Yeah,
Yeah, it's true.
yeah, it is true. That's okay. I'll teach you. And so you hang out with the younger ones, and we'll help you.
Well, they simply get it. Yes.
Yeah. There you go. Great to see Berta jumping on. I was just actually in Texas. I wasn't able to get to Berta's neck of the woods, but was just in Texas. So, so what's been new over there in Florida, Dan?
Well, it's cold, but not cold like other people cold.
Yes.
As you can see, I'm not in my normal office. I'm at our vacation rental. We're just trying to get it online by the beginning of the year.
And that's another thing that's consumed a lot of your time too.
Yeah, it really has.
Yeah. Almost every time.
Not that it was in bad shape when we bought it. It's just so many things we wanted to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Change it, upgrade it, and this morning, I was digging rot out of a couple of joists so that I could rebuild the deck on the second floor. So yes,
right. Yeah.
And I'm sure there's some sort of spiritual analogy in that whole imagery, but I was sitting there thinking that there's probably something really deep here, but all I can really see is that I'm digging rot out of the middle of a couple of timbers that are not making me happy.
Yeah, that's right. And you actually, we just ended up, I meant to take a picture with you and then post it up.
We never did we?
No, we didn't, because we just I was down in Texas. I made a jaunt over to Shreveport in Louisiana, and we got to hang out with a friend of ours, a mutual friend. I've been friends with him for a long time. Friend of the show, John West. Yeah. And you made the way over from Pensacola to Shreveport, about an 8-hour drive.
Yeah.
Essentially just to go to Target with me to buy your grandkids Christmas presents. So,
well, to see you
and to see me. Yeah. That's right. So we did get to see each other what's today? Friday. It was all just over a week ago, right? Yeah. It was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of last week.
Feels like it was longer ago, but
yeah, it really does. Yeah, it really does. So we were hanging out in Shreveport, and one of the things I found,
my second cup of coffee, so I got.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Just as a side note to that, one of the things I've been reflecting on about Shreveport that I found really interesting when we were there was when our friend showed us the what's it called? The music hall or whatever, right? Where the shows are, where because it's where Elvis Presley got his start. Yeah. Right. He played his initial shows down in the downtown Shreveport, and then as he started to kind of gain some acclaim, he was in this bigger music hall, which seats, I think he said 3,000 people.
It's beautiful.
It would be absolutely beautiful. So they had a statue of Elvis, and that was pretty cool, right? And then he pointed out right across the street, literally, like, you could see it right there. You could see that you were standing at the hall, and then right across the street was Faith Tabernacle, which is where William Branham was
in the 50s and 40s.
In the 50s, healing revival, kind of a big deal in terms of figures in the healing revival stuff that was happening in that time.
And we had lunch at the former publishing house of A.A. Allen.
I know it was another big healing ministry and healing movement thing. Yeah. And so that was a bit, you've got that city that's marked by poverty, but had some of the most significant healing movements finding their origin there, and also one of the most significant musicians of our time finding his origin there. So, I've been contemplating the spiritual implications of that. If this were a dream, what would it mean? Our good friend Murray Dewick, he likes to use that one. So, anyway, with the Dream Show, as you noticed, we are referring it to as the Dream Show now, as opposed to Tuesday Night Dreaming, because that's a necessary change, as we have a value for getting back to the dream show, we have a value for helping people engage with the dreams that they dream. We've done courses on that. We've obviously run the show starting in June of 2020. We ran the show pretty consistently every week for 2 years, and it's only been in the last 6 months or so that we've been a bit more sporadic with it. But having a high value for helping people engage with the things that go bump in the night and the mysteries that happen to us in the night season, we haven't lost a value for that. So with that said, our kind of our rethinking of how we're going to approach doing the dream show is, as we've done it at night on Tuesdays we actually started on Fridays when it was Hot Friday Nights, I think we called it at first, because it was right in the summer. And so we switched to Tuesdays at some point so that we could be a little more consistent with it at that back then. And so anyway, what we're doing at this point is, because of the increased travel schedule, because we were doing it at 10 p.m. every Tuesday, really became untenable. I was exhausted for 2 or 3 days afterwards because we've got these late nights going on. And at some point I was doing a lot of late night teaching, live streams with different groups and such, and it was just way too much. So we're scaling back a little bit. We're holding on to the value for dreams, scaling back how often we do it. And so with the dream show going forward, we're going to focus on a once a month live stream. We're going to continue with the focus of not so much just interpreting as many dreams as possible. So Zothili says it was at 3 a.m. every Wednesday morning. So going forward, it's going to be the last Friday of every month at 11 a.m. Eastern time, which is 8 a.m. Pacific time, and 10 a.m. Central time, noon Atlantic time.
On and on, right?
Yeah, on and on and on. And part of the reason for that is we going once a month and doing it at that time is because we've got people in North America that'll tune in, but we have people that are tuning in from and we're getting comments from places in India, in Africa, South Africa. Exactly. So, and we've got Denmark tuning in pretty consistently with Lean. And so, we've got a number of people exactly. We've got people that have been tuning in from all over the place. And so we thought, okay, because we have this window where we can rethink how we're going to do this, let's go to once a month so that we can manage my schedule in terms of traveling. We can focus on that. And then let's change the time so that we're going live in the late morning, early afternoon for you and I, and that makes it easier for people that are abroad to come in. And then we can focus on producing content. So we'll probably use the clips from the dream show to help people understand how to interpret dreams, put resources out, do dream training, all that kind of stuff.
Again.
Oh, is it back?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I touched the so I know. Yeah. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. You can ask questions. We're going to go live. We're probably going to be live for about 15 more minutes.
Yeah.
Here, because we're here. Our goal on this live stream was to talk about the program.
It's really bad, Josh.
Is it? Let's see. Okay. Better?
Yes, much better.
All right. So our goal on this live stream is to talk about the relaunch and the retool. So you can
we do have a dream over here.
Well, I did see that we do have a dream.
Yeah, should we jump on that one real quick and just do it?
Yeah, let's jump on it. That's right. If you have a dream, feel free to post a dream or a question, and we'll address some of those things. So
Chris Hanger, where are you from, Chris? By the way,
let us know, Chris. Chris is tuning in from YouTube.
Yeah. So in this dream, my grandfather and my wife's grandfather, so the two
Two
grandfathers,
grandfathers.
talking about my wife's grandfather we're talking, and my wife's grandfather was saying how when he was younger, God saved him from pills. In real life, I don't think he did pills at all. So
Chris, okay,
in
Chris is
Virginia,
in Virginia. Yeah.
so that, which is kind of interesting. So you have um, two generations back on each side of the family
Yes.
having a conversation together.
Yes. And he's just observing it. He's privy to it.
Right.
Is
Right.
all really. It doesn't sound like he's actually part of the conversation.
Right.
And he's observing or listening, and being given some insight into practically speaking family history.
Yeah.
Not like saying that the grandfather he doesn't think he did pills. Now that's an interesting one, right? Because if the grandfather did do pills, that might change how we think of it if we know the grandfather wasn't addicted to pills. So
True.
Right, we would think of it differently, because pills then we know becomes, well, either way it could be a metaphor, but
Yeah.
So what do you think, Dad? You start off on that one.
Why don't you answer Christine's question first, and then we'll jump on that.
Yeah, Christine, this is a show. I'll answer Christine's question. That's a good one. And we'll go to here. Let's bring up Christine's question. Is this a show where you go over dreams with people? Yes, Christine. In short, it is. We've had a dream show for the last 2.5 years, and we're just talking today about we're relaunching and reframing the time that we're going to do it, the day that we're going to do it. But our goal is really to help people understand, not so much to interpret as many dreams as possible, but to help you understand our interpretive process. So we really talk about the dreams and talk through the dreams and how we came to the conclusion that we did, and why would we interpret it in a particular way. So we go live. We go live once a month now, right? The last Friday of every month. We go live for 1 hour. You can post your dreams in the comments. You can ask questions about certain symbols or things that have happened to you. It's really addressing all the strange events that happen to us in the night season. So some weird things can happen. I've had some real strange things, and I've had some real wonderful things happen. So that's the dream show. Yeah, great to see Ingrid jumping on. Yeah. So, and we've typically
Christine, Josh is my son. I'm his father. So
we're father-son duo. Yes.
Which is why you see the same last name there. He's in Canada. I'm in Florida. So
that's right. Yes.
So Chris gave a little bit more information. He said this dream was from a while back. Interesting that both of them passed away within the year after the dream. So he's wondering, passing the torch kind of thing. So we have the dream that says that the both grandfathers, both sides of the family, are having this conversation about between each other, and one is just simply saying he's so grateful that God saved him from pills when he was younger. And pills, a lot of different things. One of the primary things they do is they provide a means of escape from reality, from pain, from difficulties. They also do obviously they can bring a portion of healing, or at least some sort of a means of assistance or help. But in this capacity, it would be almost it would be clear that these pills were not beneficial. They were.
I have a question while you're talking through that. Just a question for Chris, because we have a bit of a delay, and so it might take a second for Chris to answer this.
True.
Yeah. So hold your thought, Chris. Have you been wrestling with depression or anxiety recently? And so that's one of the questions. Have you been has that been something that you've been
Well, you had this dream a while back.
Or at the time you had the dream? Let's say that one. Yeah, that's what I mean by that. At the time you had the dream, were you wrestling a bit with depression and or anxiety? So, Dad, go ahead and keep talking.
Yeah. So anyway, one grandparent saying to the other grandparent, this is how I got out of that difficult moment. And so the dream really is just providing, like you say, insight into family history, into patterns, into questions. So your question is really helpful because we want to know what is the question. So this dream is answering some sort of a question.
Yeah,
an internal question.
And that's one of the things we see very typically with dreams is we have these unresolved questions about life, about myself, about what I'm to do, where I'm at, what I'm wrestling with. But I'm just looking at Chris's comment. Anyway, dreams generally are a result of these questions that we have. So go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. So in looking at a dream like this, we want to take a look behind the dream and say, okay, what kind of a question would this dream be answering? Because in the night seasons, as we sleep, we can interact with spiritual reality around us,
heavenly help,
creator, heavenly help. Yeah, we can call it that. And so often we can have conversations that we can't have during the day. But these dreams, like you say, they rumble around. I mean, these questions, they rumble around inside of us, back and back and back. And what, and dreams then will give us answers to that, but not necessarily straightforward answers.
Right. An answer that begs another question.
What the answer means. Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, because honestly, the language of heaven is not English.
Yeah. That's a truer statement may have never been made.
We want it to be, we
right.
want everything to be line upon line. This is what, this is the way it works. I can understand this completely, but the reality is it's not. And so we have to look at why would we have this, so it's a metaphor. We have both grandparents, we have generations on both sides discussing how life flows, how we get out of difficult situations, how we've been rescued from things that could be devastating to us or annihilating to us in that sense. And so when one generation speaks to another generation or is passing on wisdom to another generation, then we pay attention to what are the patterns in my family.
That's right.
Both sides of the family in this dream. So it's not just my mom's parents and my dad's parents, but my parents on my side and parents on my wife's side. There's something mutual about how we deal with life's issues that is very similar. And people are attracted to other people who think similar to themselves anyway in the first place. So how does this work? How do we work through these situations? And this dream then says, I can't provide my own answers. I've not been able to rescue myself from the things that have been difficult for me. I've had to rely on the Creator to bring healing and to bring help and resolve to the things that could be devastating to me.
Yeah. And so the underlying question could be any number of things.
Yeah.
It could be something like, how do I find my way out of this particular situation or these things that I'm wrestling with, whatever they happen to be. And the dream comes an answer that's saying, well, you can't do it, God does, could be something like that. It could be an underlying question that says something like this. It could be as simple as, how come my family has it so well over against other families I know? Mm. Or how come my family has it so well, my wife's family doesn't? And my family doesn't have it so well, and my wife's family has it well. Well, God's supernatural intervention. So there could be a number of ways you could see a question arising based on this dream. But like my dad said, it's essentially saying that it's a fresh reminder that I don't save myself. I need, pills are my attempt to save me. They're a cycle or a process that helps me get out of my own cycle, or I use to get out of my own cycle, but actually makes me spiral even more into my cycle.
Right.
And the simple fact of the matter in the dream is, in the older generation, Chris, you've seen people that God has supernaturally intervened and brought into a place of redemption and wholeness. And that usually that would be an invitation for you to step into the same thing. Not having to rely on an external thing that would fix a problem or solve a problem, but to see God move in your life in the same way you've seen in lives of others that have come before you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a great dream.
It is. Is that very good?
Yeah.
And that he had it before they passed away is kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, but there is wisdom that Chris is gleaning from the older generation.
Right.
Yeah.
So Casey and Mary Jean Nicklin Stridehorst both had questions. I'll answer Casey's real quickly here.
Okay. Let's bring her question up.
Okay. So she's asking about, can we go over general symbols, and we not over this on this show. We're not going to go into a depth
on this live stream is what you mean.
Exactly.
Generally, yes.
Yes. So we can't answer them, and you have some information that you can go to. We can also send people to John over at Streams has some good videos.
Yeah, John. That's right. Yeah, if you search Casey, if you search Streams Ministries, that's like a stream or a river, a stream. Streams Ministries, streamsministries.com or Streams Ministries on YouTube, and dream symbols. They also have a book that helps people think through dream symbols as well. So those are good resources. And
John's
we'll go live. We're going to be live on the last Friday of this month, given that I should double check and make sure that that's not
not Christmas.
That's not Christmas or no, we're good. Last Friday of this month, December 30th. And so we can answer those questions then. We just don't have time today.
And we will discuss specific symbols and that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
As we go through dreams, just not a broad. We both taught courses where we discuss the implications of symbols and how they get there. But the basic concept is, dream language is metaphorical. And understanding, number one, how a metaphor works, and then why a metaphor would be in your dream. So one of the questions we love asking is, why this and not that? Why a refrigerator and not a block of ice?
Right.
Which or why this person is in my dream. Out of 7 billion people on the planet, why is this person in my dream and not somebody else? What who are they? What are they to me? What are they representing in my dream? I know that if you take a typical, some of the current psychoanalytical ways of approaching dreams would be that every component or element in a dream is really just a portion of yourself or some reflection of yourself, and you need to find out what part of yourself that is. We don't take that view, because we take a spiritual approach to dreaming, so that those things that are metaphorical, those person, an element, an animal, or something of that in the dream, has a meaning that helps us understand the basic function and interpretation or analysis for ourselves, how it plays out in our own lives of that dream. So we take that as a piece of the dream that helps us understand the totality of the dream.
Yeah, like for instance, the question that Casey said, or so the statement she makes, I believe you guys said animals typically represent people in your life. In the psychoanalytical approach, animals may represent a portion of yourself, a part of your inner psyche or your inner child or your inner thought process. where we might say an animal represents a spiritual influence in your life, represents kind of the like if it's a dog, it could be the monolith of friendship in your life. So we would fundamentally approach the meaning of a symbol not as it ties directly into your inner psyche, but as it relates to the activity of heaven helping you understand how to navigate the issues in your life and come to grips with who you are.
Well, and symbols can mean different things to different people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And even a dog can mean something. I mean, somebody who's been attacked by dogs
Absolutely.
when they were a child.
Yeah.
It could be a thing of fear, whereas most people would be something very friendly and very, very engaging, family friendly type stuff.
Yeah.
And then Mary Jean had a question. So you have a question about dreams. How do you handle memory dreams? Memories that are revealed in dreams that you have no memory of in real life. How do you know if they are false or real? It's a great question, Mary Jean.
It is. That's a deep question.
Yeah.
This is the question of a dreamer.
Yes.
So this is the question of someone who dreams. I would say dreams probably quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had these kind of dreams where this is what I'm assuming Mary Jean's referring to, where in the dream you are dreaming the dream, and all of a sudden you remember something that happened, and you kind of live out that memory or play out that memory, and then you're back in the dream again.
Yeah.
And then you wake up and you're like, I don't remember that ever. I actually I personally had a reoccurring dream years ago. It happened 3 or 4 times, and I would remember this hike that I'd been on with a friend on the ocean, on the hills bordering the Pacific Ocean. And it was beautiful, stunning, this hike, right? And I'd never been on, that was not a memory that I actually had. But I had that dream multiple times, and I would remember the memory. And the memory was so real in the dream that I'd wake up going, how can I not remember that memory? And so I understand what Mary Jean is saying. You remember something as if it happened, and it's so real to you because it's the same, because I'm remembering a memory. And then you wake up and you go, but I don't think that ever happened. That's not a real memory. So it's not so much how we tell if they're false or real, because the issue isn't whether it's a real or fake memory. The issue is, how do we interpret a dream like that? How do we understand? How are we to understand when I have a memory come up in the midst of a dream that's not an actual memory? So now I need to interpret that memory, because that memory, the act of remembering something is calling back into mind something of significant importance that has an impact upon me today. And so in a dream, when I remember something, I'm remembering something of significant importance that's directly related to the events that are happening in the place that I am. So in the dream, I need to know what, because it's not a real memory, so I still have to interpret it because it's full of metaphor. So what does this memory mean? What's the interpretation of the memory? Kind of similar to a dream within a dream, because it's going to be impactful to the place that I am today. And it may even point to it oftentimes could point to things that you did in the past. So when I had those dreams where I was walking on the coast, in the dream, I remember being in California. In real life, I no longer lived in California. I lived in Canada. And so it was definitely pointing back to a time of formation and friendship in my life. So that can be a thing, but we have to interpret the memory as a metaphor because we're still in a dream, and then apply that metaphor to the overall dream and see what we have and see where it fits in. So,
and those portions of a dream where you're remembering a memory, whether it be real or not, are so often stunningly realistic.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's
like hyper real.
Mary Jean says, so which is it? And is it real or is it something? And and honestly, our brains do hide memories.
Sure.
That generally they're painful types of memories that our brains are very adept at protecting us
Yeah.
helping. There's a whole psychosis, not psychosis, a whole thought process behind how this happens. And so I'm summing it up. But our brains are very good at finding places to store certain kinds of memories. So it is possible at times that you could have a real memory that pops up in a dream. But generally speaking, it's going to be more like what Josh is talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like that dream within a dream. So first of all, I would just simply ask the creator. So, which is this real?
Yeah.
Or is this just part of the dream? And if I get that, and you can kind of talk to the elements of your dream, like, hey, are you real?
Sure.
And because dreams are weird things. We can interact with the portions of our dreams. Hey, why are you in my dream? What's going on here? And a lot of times you'll get insight. So I'm just saying, I'm just putting that out there.
You're a weirdo.
I am.
Yeah. That's really good, Dad. So it's not, are they real or not real? It's what do they mean? And that's interesting. Aaron and I were talking about this the other day, that the problem of memory and how the way that you remember things are. I've been reading. This is a total side note. I've been reading this book on the brain, and the guy puts forward the hypothesis, and he's a nerd. I mean, this guy's a genius neuroscientist, not a Christian guy, but he's talking about how the brain functions. It says by the time you reach adulthood, your brain doesn't experience reality so much as it is, as it experiences reality as it expects to experience reality.
Yeah, it's as your brain interprets it.
Your brain interprets it. Yes,
because
your core processes have already been defined.
Your way of looking at reality is formed by all of the experiences and analysis that you've done over the course of time. So that's why 4 people can see the exact same thing happening on a street corner and come up with 4 different conclusions or observations on it. So when they're telling the story, the events themselves are identical, but how they understand them and how they then discuss them are 4 different, very different viewpoints.
Because you're exactly
the actions and the reality from their own interpretive process.
Because the way that your brain moves from right hemisphere to left hemisphere, they categorize things in different ways.
Yeah.
And so when I see something, I'm immediately trying to in one sense, I'm trying to bring the broader context to it. In another sense, I'm trying to categorize where they fit within what I already know. And so what I'm actually seeing, I'm only seeing a proxy of, because I'm seeing as I want to see or as I've been conditioned to see. It's really, really fascinating.
Yeah.
And in a way, dreams help to destroy the facade of how I expect to see reality.
Yeah. That's what's so
rebuild
about them. Yeah.
It's true. Rebuild the facade so that I actually see reality as it's truly meant to be.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other topic that would take a long time to unpack. So
I know. Like last night, I was in the middle of dreaming, and Jesus walks into my dream and starts having a conversation with me about friendship, and then he leaves.
Dream.
It was an amazing dream, actually. And so I was like, whoa, I
didn't know that could happen.
Yeah.
So, that's great. Well, I think with that, we're going to wrap up. I know we have more dreams and questions, as we always do. But we just wanted to go live, touch base with everybody, let you know. Is my mic still working?
Yes, you did.
Okay, good. I hit
a little bit, but you're good.
All right. So we just wanted to touch base with everybody and let you know where we were at, how we were doing, what we're doing going forward. So you'll hear from us. You'll see us go live once a month.
Last Friday of the month, right?
Last Friday of the month, at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific. We'll go live for an hour, answer your questions, all that kind of stuff.
So does that mean this month it'll be on the 30th?
On the 30th. Yeah. Okay. Yep. On the 30th. Yeah. Last Friday of each month. and we'll do our best to fit within that schedule. So that's where we're at, and we're looking forward to connecting with everybody. And we've got so much planned for the new year. I'm just looking at the schedule. Working on the stuff that we're working on, just going. I just don't know how we're going to fit everything in. So,
True.
I mean, we've got just the part of the secret project I've been working on since September has been a new podcast that we'll be launching in January called Voices from the Desert with our friend Murray Dewick, talking about the deeper mysteries of the spiritual life as seen through Christian history, through the mystical authors, the contemplative authors. I mean, it'll be deep dives with Murray and I.
Who is there to keep the two of you on track?
That's going to be I think that's going to be the interesting phenomenon of the podcast, is that Murray and I don't stay on track, because Murray and I we're great friends and we love talking about this stuff. So that's coming down the pipe. We've got a Wind Ministries podcast coming down the pipe. We've got multiple courses coming down the pipe, online events coming down the pipe. I'm traveling and got some significant trips scheduled for early next year. So we've got lots of stuff.
And we're also dialoguing about means of connecting people.
That's right.
More relationally.
Book studies through some of the books that I've written, connecting groups, we've got a lot that's coming down. So very much so looking forward to putting all this stuff out. So pray. This is the great prayer you can pray for us, is that we would find enough time to do it all. Yeah. So yes. Yeah. That's the dilemma, is time. So, and we've not been able to be live with you many times, in the last month, but, we have launched, I'm going to put the shop up here in the comments. We have launched the Desert Mothers series of devotionals. I have them somewhere over here. Here's a couple. Let's see. There's 2 of them. There's 5. Oh,
there we go. Okay, that's one.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah, Alma Theodora, Alma Sarah. They're beautiful. So these have come out, 5 devotionals on the lives of the Desert Mothers, a few of the women that were very impactful to the movement of the Desert Fathers and the Desert Mothers. So you can find those on the Wind Ministries shop presently. They're not available on Amazon yet, but you can find them on the Wind Ministries shop. If you order them in the next few days, there's a really good chance they could be a good Christmas present for someone. But if you dilly dally too long, they won't be there before Christmas. So anyway, those are available there. You can find them there. So Casey says, can't wait. Where can we see updates on upcoming stuff? Will it be posted online? Yeah, it'll be posted online. Follow either Wind Ministries, however you came to the live stream. Follow Wind Ministries. Follow our public page, the Joshua Hoffert public page.
And we'll post it on Spirit to Spirit on Facebook too. So.
And we'll share it around as well. So you'll find it there. Sign up for our mailing list. You can find that on. Let's see. Let me put a link to our mailing list. You can find it on. If you just go to windministries.ca and scroll down to the very bottom, you can be on our mailing list. We'll announce all that kind of stuff too. So just go to our website and scroll to the bottom, and that's where you can sign up for the mailing list too. So those are all ways that you can stay in touch with us. So everything is going to go out. We'll announce it on Instagram, Facebook, and via email when those things go live. So coming down the pipe pretty soon. So, and lots of other stuff. Actually, I've been working through a book on prophecy, rethinking and re-engaging with what prophecy actually is versus what we've come to think of it as. and looking at a biblical historical approach. So that hopefully be out sometime later next year. Anyway, there's just lots that well, we pray will be very helpful for people as they're engaging with Jesus and trying to figure out how to right themselves in this world so the world becomes right through them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, blessings on all of you that have been on here, and we'll be watching this on recorded once it's recorded. And we just want to say we're so thankful and grateful that you taken the time to join with us. And I know that we're coming into the holiday season. I mean, we're already there, but we're coming up to Christmas, and times can be sometimes that can be a little difficult in families. And
sure. Yeah.
And so we just pray the Lord's grace and mercy, but especially his peace. Because there's something Jesus said that's fascinating. He said, "My peace I give you. It's not like what you expect to see around you, but my peace," which means that the peace of one who is completely, totally whole, someone whose life is put together in every way. He's at peace because there's no parts of him that are at war with each other. And so may you know the peace that has been offered for this age, and may you know it through the one who provides peace. We just so we look forward to seeing you guys again on the 30th.
That's right. Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. All right.
Blessings.
Hasta la vista, everybody.